Hello fellow viewer, this is the Retail Guy again, and welcome to the second episode of Story Feats, where I look at the whole story behind comic book feats floating around the internet. Today I'll be going through the famous battle between Post-Crisis and Earth 2 Superman in Infinite Crisis. There'll be two scans I'll be analysing today, and this will be a very complicated story, so please bear with me. Okay, the first scan here is of the two Supermen fighting, where they both observe that the boundaries of space and time have broken during their fight. So this feat is commonly used to assert that both Earth 2 and the post-crisis Superman have universal power. Over to the second scan is the two Supermen still fighting, and both of them are explaining that they are shattering worlds with each blow. Also, there's a weird looking rift in the background, and that is explained to be either a destroyed planet or a tear in space caused from the fight. So yeah, looking at these two scans, they both assert that both Supermen have some sort of universal level power. So I'll be looking into the story behind them and see what's really going on. Well, disclaimer time before diving in. So spoilers, of course, because I'll be going through the story behind these feats. Also, I don't own any of the Superman or DC properties. These scans are purely for informative purposes, so please support any official DC or Superman merch. Displayed here are all the comic issues for reference to get the full story. So the Superman fight takes place in the order of Superman number 226, Action Comics 836, and Adventures of Superman 649, with it all taking place during Infinite Crisis 5. Okay, scans from the feat come from the Adventures of Superman 649, and I'll also be going through parts of Infinite Crisis 4 and 6 to provide more context on the fight. To summarize, the Infinite Crisis event is a 20-year sequel to the 1985 Crisis on Infinite Earths event. It starts when Golden Age or Earth 2 Superman feels that Earth 1, the Earth containing post-crisis Superman, is falling into disarray as he sees the events unfold from the Paradise Dimension. He, along with Alex Luthor and Superboy Prime, break out of the Paradise Dimension and begin a scheme to restore the correct Earth, if you will, to the universe. So in real life, the Infinite Crisis event was meant to reintroduce the multiverse into DC Comics to allow for stories that don't fit the main continuity. To its credit, it does do a good job of comparing the different ideas of being a hero between the two Supermen. So Earth 2 Superman, in my opinion, represents heroism as dealing justice to those who harm others, which has the drawback of being uncompromising, where heroes who are not dealing these harsh punishments can be seen as a failure. Now, post-crisis Superman, in contrast, and my opinion, represents that heroism aims to inspire others by being the best version of yourself, which can be seen as easily exploitable by unsavory individuals. Now, these differing perspectives inevitably lead to the fight between the two Supermen, which is what we are looking into detail today. So the fight is first set up in the end of Infinite Crisis 4, when Alex Luthor creates a machine from the remnants of the Anti-Monitor. Now this machine is meant to bring in Earths from other verses into the current universe. So in this panel here, it's first used to bring back Earth 2, and as a side effect, characters that originated in Earth 2 are teleported into that Earth. And of course, originating from Earth 2 Superman, along with his Lois, is transported to Earth 2. And of course, this foreshadows the fight that is to come. As shown in Infinite Crisis 5, Lois dies shortly after teleporting to the Earth 2 metropolis, and her death is implied to possibly be due to old age. So yeah, Earth 2 Superman grieves over this. Post-Crisis Superman hears that from Earth 1 and comes over to Earth 2 asking what happened. And Earth 2 Superman blames post-crisis Superman, more specifically his universe, for being rotten and all that, and blames him for the death of Lois. And as a result, they start fighting. Moving over to Superman 226 and Action Comics 836, the fight between the two Supermen are expanded upon. And here we see the clash of heroic ideals and also the stakes that are set for the fight. Starting at Superman 226, this is told mainly from post-crisis Superman's perspective, and here he explains his hit by a blow that breaks the world, and the shards displayed appear to show events that occurred in Superman's life, hence the Superman This Is Your Life title. Okay, moving on to these two scans, starting on the left, we see what appears to be a memory of Superman and Lois growing old, and however near the end, we see that the memory is starting to break apart into tiny fragments. And over to the scan on the right, we see in the present day Superman is getting hit again, presumably by Earth 2 Superman, and when he gets hit, he is transported to another memory of him and Lois, possibly near the beginning of when they first met. Skipping a few more pages, it is observed by Superman that the memories he's experienced so far are not his own, and he reinforces that every time he and Earth 2 Superman hit each other, and also with a considerable amount of force, they get transported to these other worlds. And by this stage, the world is constantly referred to as the memories each of the Supermen are experiencing. And right on cue, when he does hit Earth 2 Superman, he gets transported to another memory. Switching over to Action Comics 836, it shifts perspective mainly to Earth 2 Superman, and similar to Superman 226, in this case Earth 2 Superman is living in an alternate memory of the post-crisis Superman, and in this case it is the one of him fighting Doomsday. Over to these two scans, it shows the two Supermen living the alternate memory of the other guy proposing to Lois. Here it establishes that a world refers to the memory that they're experiencing, and it also implies that every time they hit each other, the memory or world that they currently experience is shattered and they are transported to another memory. At the end of Superman 226 and Action Comics 836, we see that there is a rift in space and there's multiple Loises appearing and multiple Jimmys appearing. Now this is completely open to interpretation, but as for my opinion, it appears as though it's a symbolic metaphor to imply that both Lois and Jimmy are constants in every DC universe. In other words, Lois is always fated to be Superman's lover, and Jimmy is fated to be Superman's pal. Of course, again, this is just my interpretation. Don't take this as gospel. With all this established, we can now move on to the adventures of Superman 649. And in this scan, we see the famous feat, so to speak, of the two Supermen breaking the boundaries of space and time. Now, looking at the previous issues, we can add a bit more context to what's being said here. So, the universe being in its death throes can be due to Alex Luthor's machine, which caused a rift in the universe in Infinite Crisis 4. And with both the Supermen describing either of them being transported to the other guy's world after hitting each other, we've established in Superman 226 and Action Comics 836 that a world refers to the memory that they are experiencing of the other guy. And given that they are experiencing the memory of the other guy, they are transported to a different time and place, hence the boundaries of time and space being destroyed as described in the scan. Most of the issue goes through the alternate memories each Superman experience. It is explained that they do have the ability to influence the events that unfold in these worlds or memories. Unfortunately, as shown in the scans, it ends in tragedy for both of them. For post-crisis Superman, the Earth 2 verse is being destroyed by the Anti-Monitor. And as for Earth 2 Superman in the post-crisis verse, the Earth becomes an uninhabitable wasteland due to a war between superheroes and villains. In summary, looking at post-crisis Superman first, it is shown in the issues that he devotes himself to fixing all the problems on Earth 2, leading other heroes except Power Girl to retire, essentially achieving world peace. Now the downfall of Earth 2 is open to interpretation, and my reasoning is based on what has been shown in the issue. So I believe the downfall of Earth 2 was due to post-crisis Superman eliminating all conflict on Earth 2, in which there was no need for other heroes to rise from a proverbial trial by fire. As a result, only Superman was around to fight against the Anti-Monitor, and given there were no other heroes to help out, it eventually led to Earth 2's demise. Furthermore, given that Earth 2 is set in a 1940s context, the Anti-Monitor may also symbolize that times are changing and all things will inevitably come to an end. For Earth 2 Superman in post-crisis Earth, he disbands the Justice League and forms a new league of heroes and anti-heroes that agree with his method of justice, that of sending villains to the Phantom Zone. Afterwards, former Justice Leaguers conspire to fight back against Earth 2 Superman, and at the same time, Superman is betrayed where all the villains are released from the Phantom Zone. So this causes a whole chain reaction where war breaks out and then leads to the scene as shown in the scan, with the whole Earth becoming a desolate wasteland. And for more in-depth detail about how the events unfolded, you can definitely check out the issue yourself. Now back in present day, in Earth 2 Metropolis, we see the two Supermen lamenting about the memories that they've experienced, and they both conclude that there's nothing they could have done to save the other Earth, and as a result they continue to keep fighting. And here we have the second feat of the rift in space and the Supermen talking about a blow that shatters worlds. As established before, the worlds refer to the alternate memories both Supermen have experienced throughout the fight. Also, it looks as if the page background is similar to the end pages showing the multiple Loises and Jimmys in the previous issues. Here they are in the bottom corner to help refresh your memory. Looking back to this scan in full, I would say the background is more symbolic than literal. This is also compounded by the multiple Supermen appearing that didn't make any other appearance throughout this story arc. And in my opinion, this appears to represent Superman's character. In this case, along with the Supermen hoping that they're doing the right thing, it symbolizes their constant struggle to be the best hero they can be. I believe all the Supermen fighting each other represents his internal battle in making the right decision amidst the many obstacles and conflicts he faces. This idea does tie in nicely with the actual battle between the two Supermen where they clash with opposing heroic values. Now we move on to Infinite Crisis 5 to see what happens in the end. Alright, so continuing on from the previous issue, the two Supermen are still fighting and wrecking Metropolis, with Alex Luthor in the background up to his evil schemes. And the fight is eventually stopped by Wonder Woman using her lasso to restrain Earth 2 Superman. Here we see what I think is the catalyst that gets Earth 2 Superman and Post-Crisis Superman to team up and take on Alex Luthor, and that is the idea that a perfect Earth doesn't need a Superman. which suggests that Earth 2 and the post-crisis Earth are not perfect Earths because Superman exists in them. And of course in the background, Alex Luthor is doing his evil schemes. Meanwhile, Alex Luthor discovers that Earth 2 Superman is the key to bringing in Earths from other universes into the current universe. And of course he does so using the Anti-Monitor machine. Continuing on to Infinite Crisis 6, we see Earth 2 Superman stating that Earth 1, the post-crisis Earth, has been split into several different Earths, essentially bringing back the whole DC multiverse. And of course they decide to team up and stop Alex before the universe gets destroyed due to the instability caused by the many different Earths appearing. Unfortunately, before the two Superman and Wonder Woman can act, Alex Luthor decides to merge Earth 2 with another Earth, and they're currently at his mercy, where they are being forcibly merged with another Superman and other Wonder Woman from a different Earth. Luckily, other heroes start fighting back against Alex Luthor, and before the two Superman and Wonder Woman are forcibly merged, Firestorm manages to cancel out Alex Luthor's antimatter powers to stop the Earths he chose from merging. Next, we see Nightwing intercepting Alex, preventing him from using his powers to try and merge other Earths again. Alright, I'll stop here now, as the story is getting complicated enough already. And of course, if you want to learn more about what happens, you can read the Infinite Crisis event, issues 1 to 7 for the whole story. So, in summary, I can conclude the two Supermen are not capable of universal level destruction by themselves, given the whole story. They can only achieve this under very specific and extreme circumstances, and even then, the supposed universal destruction only affected the two Supermen during the fight, and here's why I think so. Going to this scan in Infinite Crisis 4, we see Alex already causing a rift in space before the fight began, which is what brought Earth 2 into the universe in the first place. Next, it was discovered that Earth 2 Superman was the key to connecting the DC multiverse, so as a result, he could be more susceptible than any other character in the DC multiverse in causing the space-time disruptions that were experienced when he was fighting post-crisis Superman. This would explain why equivalent characters from different universes didn't experience the same phenomenon between the two Supermen when the Anti-Monitor machine was running. Examples throughout the Infinite Crisis event include the two Wonder Women from the post-crisis Earth and Earth 2 when they were talking to each other, and you could also argue that Superboy and Superboy Prime being equivalent characters, that they didn't experience the same phenomenon either when they were fighting each other. Granted, Superman's punching power is implied to somewhat contribute to the space-time disruptions. However, as laid out in the several issues, this only affects the two Supermen, and of course this effect is of them reliving each other's memories every time they exchange blows. And to reiterate, the Shattering of Worlds, as outlined in previous issues, refer to the current memories being destroyed, and they are then transported into new memories to experience. Furthermore, while Earth 2 Metropolis is wrecked, there is no indication that the fight caused any other universal or space-time disruptions. Looking to these scans, there's no indication that any planets were destroyed when the two Supermen fought. It is established in Infinite Crisis 5 and 6 that Earth 1 and Earth 2 were the only planets around during the fight, and they're still shown to be around after the fight. The other Earths only came into the universe after Wonder Woman broke up the fight, and then Alex Luthor used his machine on Earth 2 Superman to bring in those other Earths. And finally, going by these scans, it shows the Superman and Wonder Woman unable to fight back against universe-altering powers. That is, when Alex Luthor attempted to merge two different Earths together, and the heroes could not resist the forced merge. In the end, it required the help of Firestorm to stop Alex Luthor from successfully merging the heroes and the Earths. Specifically looking at the scan on the left, it mentions the boundaries of space and time being shattered. This refers to the worlds they are transported to, which is also mentioned in the scan. And as established in previous issues, these worlds refer to the alternate memories they are living, which have been shown to occur at a different time and place from the fight. And it has never been shown throughout the relevant issues that there were any other space-time disruptions that were caused when the two Supermen were fighting. Finally, the scan on the right refers to a blow shattering the world. This also refers to these memories they are experiencing, and not necessarily the physical environment around them. The rift in space appears to be mostly symbolic, given the multiple Supermen only appear in this page, and there were similar background images of the multiple Loises and Jimmys in the other issues. So that rift in space is likely not a literal space-time distortion or a destroyed planet. So in conclusion, it is clear the Supermen do not have universal level power on their own. While their physical might is implied to be a factor in the space-time distortions, there are two other factors that also contributed to this. Firstly, Alex Luthor's machine was activated and caused a rift in the universe before the Supermen started fighting. Secondly, Earth 2 Superman was discovered to be some key connecting to the DC multiverse, which he would be more susceptible to breaking the boundaries of space and time. Further to this, while the space-time boundaries were broken, this effect was only shown to be localized to the two Supermen fighting and not the external environment. Finally, it has been shown that both Supermen were unable to resist a reality-altering feat to the effect of Alex Luthor trying to merge two different Earths together. Okay, that's all for this video. Thank you so much for staying till the end. And yeah, sorry it took so long, but it's a very complicated story, and I feel like I had to really do it justice. And please support the official DC and Superman properties. And if you do like to check out the story yourself, you can definitely do so on the Read Comics Online website. So yeah, thanks again, and hope to see you in another video.